at a Moment of Harmony and our original form of mano y mano, right? Just the one man show. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been so excited about getting back to our normal schedule. I've been so excited about getting through. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. There we go. Y'all know I can't see anything until we get live here. But I've been so excited about getting back to our regular format of doing things. But I also have greatly loved bringing on important people on to share the platform with, to give energy, to exchange, and to, put that energy out there. It has been a wonderful experience. So I am seriously considering how to merge the two ongoing throughout the new year because I loved it. Okay, I loved it. Thank you to everyone. So let me rewind a little bit. We reached 100 moments last week on the YouTube platform. Everyone knows that I started out in Facebook many years ago. I started out on Facebook. As things kind of took off and I got momentum, I was encouraged and pushed towards the YouTube platform and kind of just splitting the both of them and making sure that my presence is on both. I came onto the YouTube. I have loved it, never regretted it. Yeah, definitely my audience and the ability to reach more people became such a reality. So I was so excited. The opportunities that YouTube has opened up for me, the viewers, the exchanges, the people that I come across that I wouldn't know because I wouldn't be friends with them on Facebook. So broader, better, greater. We reached 100 episodes of that last week. We had a countdown. We were in a series, a reflection series. We took a mini series break. We jumped in with a mini series entitled Magnifying Moments, which was me being able to look and engage and look into the lives of individuals who use their moments, really. And I think every one of my guests, I had 9 guests on for the 10 shows. And that's not counting my siblings because all 6 of my siblings came on to the show for the 100th episode. They were my surprise, right? My surprise was the craziness and the brilliance and the beauty of my family and just sharing that moment with everyone and with those incredible people that mean so much to me. So thank you to every guest that was very special, very pertinent, very healing, very life-giving, very incredible for the show and myself personally. I mean, it was a transformative transformative experience, right? It did wonderful things for me. And I'm just so happy that also from some of the feedback that some of my guests were really able to hear stories in real time and were being able to be practical about our moments, be practical about making them the best. So extraordinary. So we reached 100 moments. It was very successful. It was one of the most, my 100th moment was the biggest show, numbers wise. We're not talking about spirit or effect or impact because they all were incredible. But numbers wise, excuse me, it was my biggest show of the mini series, Magnifying Moments. I thank you so much. I thank the creator above all. I thank you all for that success, right? Thank you, my exchangers and guests alike, those encouragers, those people that are my sounding board, my team. Great, right? Perfect. Right after, in the same week of my 100th moment, didn't set it up that way. It just so happened to be the first week of the year, which is when I do the prayer and purge. First weekend of the year, 100th moment fell in at divine alignment, fell into that week, same week as my prayer and purge. Very successful, very beautiful, very extraordinary prayer and purge. Reach out, shout out to all of those that attended, all of those that were a part of that transformative experience. The prayer and purge is this growing. We were at our 3rd year. It started virtually during COVID. I started getting online and praying and including others in prayers and just really having a purge at the beginning of the year, going into ourselves and our circumstances spiritually. It became so healing and wonderful and big that I was like, we're going to do a prayer and purge every year. And a Moment of Harmony has been doing a prayer and purge every year. And this was our 3rd year. beautiful. It was in person. It was free this year, and it was by viewers invite only. So you guys were the ones that were in attendance. You guys that tune in every week were the ones that came ready for war, right? Because our theme this year was this year it's personal, and we were getting real personal with our prayers, real personal with our requests, real personal with our lives, real personal with our manifestations. We were not beating around the bush this year. Okay, no bush beating. We were serious about getting serious about the joy of our life. This year is personal. That was the theme of the Pray and Purge this year, and it was all that. So thank you for a very successful Pray and Purge. Now, where are we today? What have we come to? All this work we've done. We've done so much work. I tell you, 2023 just feels like work. It feels like so much work, right? We did so much work together. I'm so proud, grateful, and just really, really, really humbled by the amount of work that individuals who love themselves, want the best for themselves, believe in the best for themselves, how far you guys are willing to go, y'all. We went far. We went far. We went deep. We did good work. Thank you. Okay. So where are we now? So we've come out of our mini series. We took that little break to do the countdown to the 100th episode. We are at episode 101. We are back in our reflection series, right? Our reflection series was our looking back, Sankofa and going back. So we're looking back at it, okay? We're going into our past, grabbing, reflecting, looking in order to move forward to a better and a brighter future. So we're looking back at it. And we're back. We're back at looking back. This episode is back at looking back. We took our little break. We are at week number 15 for a 33-week series. So we have 18 more weeks to go in our reflection series. We were just getting our reflection series started, kicked off pretty much, and getting all into the juiciness of it when it became time to go into our magnifying moments. So we're back at looking back. Today we are back reflecting. Okay, so since it's been a minute since we were reflecting, I'm going to go over very quickly why we were reflecting in the first place, right? We've had a number of series here at A Moment of Harmony. We've had affirmation series. We had a matter of moments. We've had a declaration series. We currently are in a reflection series. We had a praise break and a magnifying moments. Oh, we've done so much work over the past couple of years. And I know that if you have been dedicated to getting your moments in every week, you are growing, you are expanding, you are expounding upon your why, your who, your yes. Okay? I'm very proud of you. We had all of those series. We currently are in the reflection series. We chose to go into a reflection series because I feel like many of us, in an attempt to move forward, we kind of ignore what we've been through. We want the past behind us. I hear us say that all the time. We want the past behind us. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to look at it. What's done is done. It is what it is. And that is very counterproductive to growth and healing and development. Every life is cyclical, right? It's cyclical. Let's say that. It's cyclical. Life is a constant. There is no demarcation. There is no yesterday or tomorrow, okay? In the sense of the way that we believe time and existence to move. It is all one. It is all connected. You cannot go forward without mending, understanding, and having a healed and grounded yet backward, right? So, but a lot of us, when we know that, right? And a lot of us are aware, and it's like, I got to go back and I got to heal from my childhood and I have to heal from these experiences. But when we go back, it's in low vibration. We go back in fear and pain and regret and stress and turmoil and trauma. It's just like, I'll never do that again. I'll never be. And it creates a blockage. So I developed us going back in this reflection series in a way that is going to allow us to go back with an open heart, with a clear lens, with a lens of receptivity and restoration, instead of regret and fear. No one, we shouldn't be looking back like I went through that, I hated that, I never. No, there's a reason for the whole situation. There's a lesson, there is learning, there is growing in what you gained. There is growing in what you gained, but you can't gain it if you don't go back the right way. So we're reflecting. We are in our reflection series, Sankofaing, looking back. Okay, we looking back at it. So that's why, we started to go into a reflection series. So many of us journal, or however else you reflect, mirror work, shadow work, therapy. I mean, there's tons of ways to look back on your life, where you were and where you've come from. There's tons of reasons to do that. But I really wanted to give us some good tools and have us together to look back lovingly, look back effectively, efficiently, divinely, right? And we've been doing that in a reflection series, and we have reflected on all types of things. We reflected on love, we've reflected on next levels, new chances, new opportunities. We've reflected on regret, we've reflected on trauma, abuse. I mean, we've reflected in this series on so many things. And today, it's no different. We're going back and we are looking and reflecting. Today's episode in our reflection series is entitled Reflect on the Possibilities. Now, how can I restart my reflection series at the beginning of the new year without talking about the possibilities? Okay, a lot of us come into new chapters. I know when it comes to the New Year's, and I know how everyone gets into the calendar, the Western calendar, and is it New Year's? And listen, I'm not going that deep. I'm talking spiritually. Let me rephrase that. Not that I'm not going that deep. I'm not getting that distracted. We all know what it is, right? Everyone knows. I hope that we do. If you don't, that's your journey. You'll be on it. What I'm saying is, I want us to really be open to new chapters, be open to new versions of ourselves, to be open to new levels of existence. We always talk about in the Moment of Harmony how the point of it all is that you reach your supreme level of self. I always talk, and I had Baba Imhotep on, much love and honor, during that episode, but Wali Mu, my Wali Mu that trained me in a lot of the work that I do today, and a lot of my information, and put me on the road to helping others, right? In that same regard. But he has a saying, and I've said it 1,000 times: the creator created creation by becoming creation created. Saying all that we are here as beings, and we come here as one with the creator, as reflections of the creator. And we come here to reach that highest level within ourselves. I talked to you about Casey. Shout out to Casey, the medium. We talked, and she was expressing about how this physical realm is soul school, like it's conditioning for your soul. The whole point, when we come here, the whole point is to graduate to our highest level of self, is to make it through challenge, is to make it through growth, is to make it through molding and construction, and to make it through all of it so that your soul is conditioned for the next level, which is a next obligation, or next responsibility, and next reality of your mission, right? So when we say that we're looking back at it, we want to make sure that we are going back with all of that in mind. I'm going back to move forward in a very strong and intentional way. So us being able to reflect on possibilities, going into new opportunities, going into new energies, feeling ourselves out in brand new ways, giving ourselves brand new chances, or revising and graduating in existing levels of self. That all is a part of possibilities. So today we are getting into reflecting on the possibilities. Okay? So when I talk about possibilities today, again, it is with all the energy of just releasing and renewal and the balance and the in-between. A lot of us, we feel refreshed, we feel revised, we feel renewed when we are able to let some things go, we're able to close some things, heal from some things, just be able to go to another level. So I'm saying, between the release and the renewal, there's possibilities. And this is why we understand that we have to grow things, we have to change things, we have to transition things, we have to move things. We understand that because We know that our lives are full of potential and possibilities. Have we reached those? Are we moving towards those? Is our life open for those? Do we have blockages when it comes to those things? I am definitely starting this first show off, well, the first solo show of us back in the new year on reflecting on the possibilities. I want us to look back over possibilities very strategically, very divinely, in a very healing way, so that we know that when we talk about moving forward into the possibilities of life, we are not held back. We're not held back by those things that didn't work out the way we wanted them to. We're not held back by things not feeling the way we wanted them to feel. We're not held back by accomplishments that we didn't make, goals that we didn't achieve, fears that came into fruition. We are not, we have possibilities. And we're going to move into new ones by going to heal some of the old mindsets, patterns, and thought frames around possibilities. Okay? So, reflect on the possibilities. The first point, and I need to stop shaking my desk. The first point of reflecting on the possibilities are is understanding that possibilities are born from our perspective. Possibility. When I see people that are just pessimistic, negative outlet, downtrodden. We had a family movie night last night, and I watched. What did we watch? Leave the World Behind. Right? We watched a phenomenal movie, by the way. Y'all, check that out if you haven't already. I'm probably late on mom duty all the time. Probably late, getting the stuff late, but awesome. But it was big on just the outlook, the way we see things, the way we see the world. And it was definitely in alignment with my subject matter this morning. Reflect on the possibilities. Possibility is born from perspective. When we're talking about changing our possibilities, when we're talking about being a visionary around or visualizing new possibilities, moving towards new possibilities and opportunities, we have to greatly consider our perspective. I recently put up a post on Facebook for those of you that follow me there, and I put up my Harmony Originals like almost daily, but really weekly for the most part. But I put up my Harmony Originals there, and I have one that says, when you will see different things when you see things differently. Oh, good morning, my love. Thank you so much, Nunu. It's the bestie. It's the best. I can't wait till we hang out today, girl. That is a part. That's a part of my glow. It's a part of my glow this morning that you're talking about. Thank you. But yes, so when we talk about the possibilities being born out of perspective, we're saying that I was talking about my Facebook. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, that's why I be reading these chats and then I start talking to new and we just start doing what we do. But yes, when I talk about the possibilities, get back to that. I said, when you see things differently, you will begin to see different things when you see things differently. We're talking about the perspective. Possibility is born out of your perspective. The only thing that can happen for you is what you see. And if all you see is what happened to you, you won't see much, you won't achieve much. The only thing that can happen for you is what you see, how you see it. So when we reflect, it becomes such a vital mission to look back on it in a way of seeing it correctly, accurately, intentionally, divinely, seeing it for what it was. What was it supposed to teach me? What was I supposed to gather? What was it supposed to contribute to my life? What was I supposed to learn? How was I supposed to move after this experience? Many of us, we get caught in the shutdown. It shut me down. Someone left you at the altar, or you were violated as a child, or you lost this job. This dream never came true. You blew out your knee. You didn't play football. I mean, we just get stuck in the ditch when the ditch was supposed to be a lesson. And our perspective shifted, right? When something happens to you and you see it from a very mature and divine perspective, nothing has actually happened to you. Everything is happening for you, but we don't see it like that when we're supposed to see it like that. So when we look back and something has happened and you have a choice something traumatic, something shifting, something shocking, something shaking is taking place, you have a choice. I can get stuck in the reality, or I can move through revelation, right? I can get stuck in this reality, or I can look at what is being revealed to me. Life is always communicating to me. Creator is always communicating with me. It's always saying, learn this, go this way, do this, take that, try this, be this, leave that. You know what I'm saying? And instead of hearing, Ashe, instead of hearing, I'm hurting. I have the choice. Something traumatic has taken place to me. I can hear life speaking, or I can hurt and get stuck. I can hear or I can get hurt. And we almost always get stuck. Do you know what I'm saying? Something, I mean, the worst. And y'all know, I have been there. My baby brother was murdered. I've been through failed relationships. I've been through all types of life. Life been lifing, okay? It has been lifing for, I'll be 38. Woo woo, I'll be 38 next month. It has been lifing for 38 years. That's what it does. Soul school, right? Told y'all, Casey told me that. Soul school, soul conditioning. It's supposed to train you, challenge you, and change you. If you got stuck because life changed you, if you got stuck because life trained you, because it challenged you and it changed you, you got stuck somewhere you weren't supposed to be. You got stuck in the disappointment. You got stuck in the neglect. You got stuck in the abuse. Hey, I'm not saying that you should be suffering or tortured or anything. I'm not condoning any of that. All I'm saying is if you went through it, it was supposed to take you somewhere. And if you never got through it and you're still there, it didn't do what it was supposed to do and you're stuck. And that's why we're reflecting. We want to look at the possibilities. Possibility is born out of perspective. If we want greater possibilities, if we want grander opportunities, we must have a greater, grander perspective. You have to see it differently. You have to see it better. We're talking about big girl, big boy work, okay? We're talking about really mature and intentional work. You want it to be different, you have to see it differently. This parent that wasn't there, or this parent that was difficult, or this counterprotective process that you think hurt you. I don't know if anybody just saw Maxine Baby with Tyler Perry, but all the stuff he went through. Listen, they asked him, how does he create the stories he creates? How does he have like seemingly an infinite amount of ideas, of characters? And he talked about being abused as a child, hiding as a child, and as an escape mentally and emotionally from his physical and mental pain. He would create characters and lives and alternatives that he could see clearly in his mind. It turned out to be what would be a saving grace. I put a Harmony original up that said your lift is in your gift. Very true. And the Creator is going to be honing your gift through life. The Creator hones your gift through your give. What the Creator gives you is how He's honing what He gifted you. What the Creator gives you is how He's honing what He gifted you. Creator, how is this going to benefit my gift? There are places I have been that have been so dark. But let me tell you that when it comes to my work of healing, when it comes to my work of nurturing, educating, elevating, I'm not afraid to go into a dark space for the right person. I'm not afraid to go into a dark space for someone that I got to bring out, because the Creator have given me dark spaces to get out of. But a lot of times when we're looking at it, it's like, no, I went through this. It's a curse. It's a it's an omen. It's a horrible omen, because there are positive ones, but it's a curse, and it's all of these horrible things, right? That you went through, when really the Creator was giving you something towards your gift. What are you giving me towards my gift? Empathy. What are you giving me towards my gift? Humility. What are you giving me towards my gift? Vision. What are you giving me towards my gift? Patience. Where do these things come from? There was a painting in the movie Leave the World Behind. It said, hope begins in the dark. It said that. And I saw it on the wall when I was watching the movie, like, hope begins in the dark. And I thought about it. And I was like, how many times when we look back do we see only darkness? Do we see only the damage? And we don't see the divinity. We don't see the direction. And I'm saying possibilities. When we go back on those stories of our lives, when we go back into those circumstances, when we go back into those experiences, go back with the perspective of how did it grow me? What was I didn't necessarily take that from it then, but what should I have? Because it's going to make sure that where I go, it changes. If I think I only have had darkness, I'll move towards that. But if I feel like, if I know, if I understand that I wasn't only having darkness, I was having direction. If I know that it wasn't darkness I was in, it was direction I was in, guess what it does to where I'm going? Perspective or possibilities are born out of perspective. How many times when we think back to our past do we say, I didn't know no better? Or if I knew then what I know now, or child, I was so naive. I had no clue. I couldn't wrap my mind around. We talk about negative experiences. We talk about bad choices. We talk about wrong roads by using our mind frame. I didn't know no better. Girl, I was green as a blade of grass. I was wet behind the ears. I thought I knew this. I thought. We say that, right? I know us ladies, we'll look back at those pictures and we'll be like, girl, I thought I was fat then. Or, you thought something, But it was the mind. It was the perspective. It was how we saw it. And when we saw what we saw, it changed how we did. It changed how we were. It changed how we show up. And it can do it now in the reverse. My perspective is what opened my possibilities. I had no idea I could. I had never saw or seen anyone that did. I didn't know anything about. I hear it all the time in my work with workshops and women's work, and I hear it all the time. I didn't know how to do it. I never saw it. I had no idea I could be done this way. I had never talked to anybody about it. What was limiting you was your perspective. It was your experience that was limiting you. But what happened in life when you began to change your perspective? When you saw relationships differently? When you saw finances or money differently? When you saw business differently? When you saw society differently? What happened to your possibilities? Do you remember being like, I remember thinking like when I was so young, an apartment was like the biggest deal. It was like, oh my God, how am I ever it seemed impossible. I got married at 18, and back then, my ex-husband, we used to be like riding around like, will we ever qualify? How much you have to make and how many months you have all the qualifications. They seemed like impossible. But it was because of our perspective. What we could only see. What we had only seen. What we only knew. But what happened after you got your first or second apartment? I never fear getting an apartment. I don't even think about it because, my perspective and my possibilities are different. But it is I can remember sweating about it. You remember being on a bus sweating about a car, right? It just seems like the hardest thing to get, the furthest thing from your reality. When your perspective changes, your possibilities will too. Now you get a car, you feel like it's not hard. If I need a car, I'll get a car. Go to rent a car, I'll get it. It's the possibilities are changing because you are. I want you to know that if your possibilities haven't changed in your life, where your marriage could go, what your children could do, what your home could create, what you could birth and do, if they haven't changed for you, if they haven't grown for you, if they haven't developed for you, I think it's you. I think it's your perspective. Are you living a life of fear? Are you living in a life of what could possibly go wrong? Are you living in a life of what did go wrong? It's you. And I'm not pointing fingers. Look, I'm not preaching, I'm sharing. I always say that. Getting to the point of saying, I have, listen, been in the relationship. Just like, when is this going to be different? When is this going to change? When is this going to get better? Looking at all the components and the elements of the relationship. Guess when the relationship changed? When my perspective changed. The circumstance changed, the pain, the hurt, the trauma, the stress, the anxiety, it changed when I saw things differently. When I said, I am worthy of, I am working towards, I am desiring, I am creating, I am figuring this, it did. Possibility is born out of your perspective. I want us to get that one because I want us, when we reflect on our perspectives or our possibilities, that when we're ready to create new possibilities, we understand the first thing we got to do, the lens. You will see differently when you see differently. You'll see differently once you see differently. Okay, so possibility is born out of perspective. If possibilities, follow me, we're going on a little road trip. Well, if possibilities are born out of perspective, what does that mean about our possibilities? If we want better possibilities, we want to protect our possibilities. This is my next step. First one, possibilities born out of perspective. Next point today, we need to protect our possibilities. We need to protect our possibilities. A lot of times we are looking back on what was, on what happened, and we're not seeing our own negligence. We're not seeing our own disregard. We're not seeing our own stagnation and our own complacency. We're not seeing our own complacency in the situations we were in because we didn't protect what was possible. And what I'm saying is, we want to do more creating of positive possibilities, meaning that anytime we have an exchange, work, school, business, vocation, love, relationship, parenthood, sisterhood, brotherhood, community work, connection, anytime an exchange is taking part, we need to be able to say, how can I create positive possibilities from this exchange? And in order to create a positive possibility, how can I protect what's possible? How can I protect what can be born out of this exchange? Intimacy is an exchange, right? We all know how you create a person. We exchange and then we birth. Any intimate exchange, work, business, relationship, parenthood, community work, okay. Anytime we exchange, we create. So for everyone out here thinking that we have pointless, frivolous exchanges, no, negative. For everyone that feels like you could just go to a strip club and you could just engage in certain things and nothing is going to come out of it but fun, you create anytime you relate. Okay? Harmony and Richmond. You create anytime you relate. So if I relate to you, if I relate to it, if I relate with it, I don't care if it's money, a paycheck, Whatever it is, you resonate with it and you connect, you're going to create. It can be chaos. It can be delay. It can be pause. It can be insecurity. You can create some low vibrational things. But do understand that if you relate to it, this job that you hate so much, that job that you hate, I don't hate my job, that anyone who hates their job so much, you have you relate to it. And when I say relate, mean you have a relationship with it. You go there for the majority of your week. You give your time, your energy, and your talents, and they pay you in return. It's transactional, but it's a relationship. Once you relate to it, you create. So if it is dead end, if it is unappreciative, if it is draining, and you're coming together, guess what you create? Stagnation, complacency, reversal, or not reversal, regression. You relate what you create. So what I'm saying now is when it comes to our possibilities, how can we create experiences with positive possibilities? How can we create exchanges that protect the possibilities? If I take this job, what will be the possibilities? Right? Because in the beginning, it's endless possibilities. All good things could happen or negative things could happen depending on how you see it. So if you get into a job that you know you don't like, I'm just in this for the money. I don't like this. I don't want to be here. What possibilities would that yield? And how are you protecting them? If you get into a relationship and you're not coming, listen, if you're getting into a relationship or a circumstance, a situation in exchange, you're going to relate to someone on an intimate level, to someone on a loving power level, on a heart chakra level, right? And really holistically, all chakras, right? But let's talk about the heart. You get with someone and you relate to them there. In order to protect the possibilities, you have to create an exchange with that person differently. So if you're not being honest, you can't protect what possibly can happen. By protecting the possibilities, it means I remove as much negative, low vibrational possibilities, as many of them as possible. I just extinguish them, annihilate them, eliminate them. I'm being honest. That protects what possibly can happen. What comes from honesty? Trust. Oh, that's a positive possibility. I'm going to be consistent. What comes from consistency? Results. That is a positive possibility. What comes from I'm going to be receptive? What comes from receptivity? Gain. Right? That is a positive possibility. But a lot of times we will go in and relate to someone and create with someone. I don't trust nobody. I don't want to open up. I don't know what you're going to do. We come straight from our fears. We start immediately, we come out the gate from fears. Listen, we're human beings having a human experience human beings, spirit having a human experience. So listen, them fears might creep up, but the thing is, you got to check yourself. How can I create a positive possibility? Because my perspective is where my possibilities are born from. So if I'm in the past, I will have past possibilities. If I'm in pain, I'll have painful possibilities. If I'm in desperation, desperate possibilities. I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for you. So, how do we protect those possibilities? We will come in and we will create possibilities right off the brink that are very negative. So don't come in, don't play games, so that you have an honest, productive possibility. This is how we protect our possibilities. If you're making a financial investment, if you're investing into stocks or real estate or business, if you're coming in, how can you protect the possibilities? Don't come in sneaking, lying, scheming, holding back. These are the possibilities that will come when I come into parenthood. Listen, I have 3 teenagers at the same time. At the same time. Somebody pray for me. Somebody send a prayer up right now. Okay? 3 teenagers at the same time. If I approach these young adults, some of them becoming adults, and I approach them with my fears. I deal with their lives and their circumstances with my trauma. I don't protect the possibility of my obligation to them and what can be born from that, nor do I protect their possibilities. How many of you know that you can shift someone's possibilities if this is how divine you are. I'm telling you, this is how divine you are. You can shift someone else's possibilities by shifting yours. By changing and making and protecting my possibilities, I can set you up for positive possibilities. Think about getting in a relationship with a damaged person. Think about getting in a relationship with a destructive person, an insecure person, as lovely as they may be, as attractive as they may seem, but just broken and hurt. You link up to them. You can have all the hope in the world, all the joy and excitement. Go ahead and link up with someone whose possibilities are bleak. If that can happen that way, guess what happens when you link into positive possibilities? Remember, I talked about this is life. This is life. That's what they call it, the circle of life, right? When ever connected to everything. I am ever connected to everything. I am ever connected to everything. Therefore, I have an obligation to protect the possibilities of these connections. I have to protect the possibilities of my relationships. I have to protect the possibilities of my growth, my finances, where I could go, where I could be. I have to protect those things. I can't be lazy. I can't be self-sabotaging and protect my possibilities at the same time. You can't be selfish. You can't be greedy and protect the possibilities. You won't get the possibilities that you're going after. I am so shocked by people who are surprised by these horrific or astronomical or extreme or low outcomes when they know that they weren't behaving as their highest selves. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be righteous. And being righteous is going to move you towards the right type of possibility. When I don't know what else to do, when I don't know what else to say, I do the right thing. I say the right thing. When I don't know which direction to go in, I do the right thought. I make the right decision. Right then. Right? Protect your possibilities, okay? And then we're going to get right up out of here with this last point. Painless possibilities. So possibility is born in perspective. Protect your possibilities, number 2. Number 3, painless possibilities. I am talking about fear holding us back, holding us down, keeping us stagnant, keeping our possibilities bleak. We are not taking our pain into our promise. And we've had a moment like that in the past entitled that. We're not taking our pain into our promise. And what I mean is that we're having painless possibilities. Well, Mama Harmony, and for those that are new, because I did get a lot of new subscribers doing the magnifying moments. So for those that are new to my show, sometimes you will hear me refer to myself as Mama Harmony. That is simply because I did many years of community advocacy, and it was an affectionate title given. Mamas and babas are affectionate titles given to those individuals who earn some types of respect, put in some work, some blood, sweat, and tears into the community, and then they have titles. And so there may be individuals that you see in the chat that may refer to me as Mama Harmony. You may sometimes hear me refer to myself as that because I still get those text messages and calls, and it's Mama Harmony, Mama Harmony. So I'm not crazy, just that little. But there are, when we talk about having a painless possibility, I know that you are saying, well, hey, I have pain. I have history. I have trauma. I have things that I'm going through. I'm not saying don't have them. I'm not saying that they aren't there. I'm not saying ignore them in any way. What I'm saying is that the pain doesn't have a place in your promise. The pain has a purpose. It doesn't have a place. Okay? Pain has a purpose. It doesn't have a place. And a lot of times we'll forego the purpose of the pain and give it a place. We'll sit it in our marriage. We'll sit it in our relationships. We'll sit it in our parenting. We'll sit it with our mothers and our fathers. And we'll sit the pain in a place where it never belonged. The pain has a purpose, not a place. So when I say painless possibilities, I mean transform your pain appropriately, maturely, intentionally, divinely. That means that as you are looking towards your future, as you are opening to new realities, I want you to understand that every painful thing, every damaging thing, every shifting experience is a lesson and not a limit. Every single one. Oh, Mama Harmony, you don't know how bad, you don't know how low, you don't know how hard. Look, y'all, don't let this smile fool you, okay? Mama Harmony done had to pull herself off a plenty of floor in 2 weeks ago, last week, okay? Peel myself up off of plenty of floor. But what I am saying is I understand that the pain is doing something. My best friend is on the chat. She came in with the hello early in the morning, my Nunu. Nunu, when I was going through, and I always tell this story, so forgive me if you are a Moment of Harmony exchanger regularly and you've seen this already. Bear with this quick little story. Going through one of the toughest times, right? 2022. Whoa! It was a labor and delivery year, okay? It was a rebirth, a restart. It was one of the toughest years of my life. A shakedown. I always say that was a shakedown. Be careful what you pray for, okay? Because when I ask the Creator to rid my life of anything that is not of you, anything that is not a part of my mission any longer, anything that doesn't move me in the way that in the direction that I need to go, any season that I've outgrown, Creator, remove it. Woo, chat, woo. Okay. I didn't even know I was in, listen. I was going through the worst season. I was in a breakdown. I called my bestie. Couldn't even talk, just tears. And she said, she started crying, right? She started crying. Because y'all, you know, your girl's an Aquarius crowd. Their emotions, I'm building my emotional fortitude, But she said, she didn't say, I know what you're going through. I'm sorry that you're going through it. Is there anything you need me to do? She didn't say any of the cliche stuff. It'll never leave my mind what she said. All she could say, what she said over and over and over again. She said, God, what are you moving? What are you moving, God? What are you moving? And it makes me emotional every time I think about it. But she immediately brought me in one of the darkest places of my life. Creator comes through those that can get through to you. Keep people around you that can get to you. Creator, straight out of her mouth, I felt him. The Creator. She brought me immediately back to harmony. You are not to stay here. You are not to lay here. You are not to play here. You came to get, to grow and to glow. You came to get, to glow, get, to grow, and to glow. And when we look back, when we reflect, I don't want you to go and stay. The Sankofa says, go back and get. Go fetch. Right? It's my eyes. Go back and get. I don't want you to stay there. Go to get, grow, and glow. Possibilities. The possibilities. Get, that's the pain. Grow, that's the purpose. Possibility, that's the glow. Right? It's the place. It's where you're going. And you gotta go, and you have to go inside of where you are. You have to go inside of where you've been. Go back and get. Listen, painless possibilities. We must work towards those. We must invest in those. We must remember when we are there. These are lessons. These aren't limits. And if I take this lesson and I live in it, I'm sorry, if I take the pain and I live in it, I'll say lesson. If I take the lesson and I live in it instead of learn from it, there we go. It will limit me. If I take this lesson and I live in it, it will be a limit. I must understand that my possibilities are painless. Listen, not that I'm not growing. It's not that I'm not feeling. It's not that I'm not hurting. It's not that I'm not trying. It's not that I'm not figuring. It's not that I'm not contorting. It's not that I'm not birthing. It's just that the possibility is painless. I have birthed 5 people in this body. Okay, don't always look like it. You know what I'm saying? But I did. 5 people out of this body. Pain. The most painful experiences of my life. Labor and delivery, opening my body to bring a person into the world. I'm talking physical pain, right? But the possibility, when I'm in labor and I'm sweating and my hormones are changing and I'm nauseous and I'm cold and I'm hot and I'm scared and I'm excited and I'm everything. The possibility is this person is life. The possibility is new life. The possibility is I'm giving birth to what this next healer. I'm giving birth to this next warrior, this next leader. See, what I have to go through is physical. It's human. What I will create is divine. I am a spirit, after all, having a human experience. Told y'all, I always say I profess a gift. When I heard Professor Griff say that. So, painless possibilities, everyone. And the way to have a painless possibility is to understand that your pain has a purpose. It doesn't have a place. Don't live that way. Don't thrive that way. Don't keep it that way. Don't get stuck in that way. It has been a phenomenal time being back with you guys. I feel back. You guys feel back? I feel back. We're back at it. We're back at looking back. It has been a wonderful first back reflection series. I look forward to another reflection series session with you, Ashe, next week. Same place. Hopefully we're going to get you in on Saturday like we normally do. But you know, if life does what it does, y'all know I always appreciate y'all, you know, moving and grooving with me. I'll be back next week for another Moment of Harmony. Thank you all again. I love you all so much. Y'all are doing real work, and I got some real healers and some real healing individuals taking their moments very seriously. I am so grateful for you, proud of you, here with you. Let's keep having our moments. I love you so much. Thank you all so much.